Hey guys, it's Sylviaworsham. Welcome to Mindful Mondays and welcome to the topic of manifest your desires. This is part one. I'm going to do two segments of this because there's tons of information when it comes to visualization and using the power of your imagination as programming to your subconscious mind, which, as we know, the subconscious mind is the most powerful one of the two minds. And it's the one that has zero filter. And the reason why why imagination is so important to it is because it has zero filter. It takes in everything you give it. So if you give it good information in terms of visualization, in terms of what you imagine for yourself, then you are becoming the programmer of your subconscious mind instead of the other way around. Because right now the subconscious mind is operating based on what you've given it from this point forward, or from when you were a child to now, and you really don't know what all it's taken in. You know how they say the mind is like a sponge? They really need to reframe that and rephrase that to say the subconscious mind is like a sponge. It has no ability to accept or reject information. So anything you give it, it takes it as the truth. So remember that. Always remember that. And why this came about was because on Saturday of this past week, I turned in my very last chapter, written chapter of my first book. And it was such an amazing accomplishment for me and feat. And I was just so proud of myself. And it came about because in 2019, I created a vision board where I visualized becoming an author. Now, the vision board is something your mind uses as a guidance system. It needs to kind of have a GPS system of where am I going? What is it that you want in life? I got to know. And anything you feed it in terms of your self-talk, your physiology, your focus, who you speak to, who you allow to influence you, the kind of shows you listen to, the music you listen to, what you're reading, all of that plays a huge role in the programming of your mind, all of it. So it matters. It matters what you put in. It's kind of like, it's the same analogy of it matters what you put into your physical body, like what you eat on a daily basis. It does matter in terms of the health and well-being of your body. What's the same thing with your mind? There's no difference there. Whatever you put into it and how you do it and how you take care of it, that's what it puts out. The output will be whatever it is you put in. So always remember that. So here is what I'm going to talk about. I learned about visualization many years ago. In fact, in 2008 is when I learned about it, because back in those days, I was in therapy. I had just gotten divorced. I had sought the help of a therapist because I wanted to get rid of some of the traumas that had plagued me for years. I wanted to get rid of my emotional junk so I could be ready to meet my soulmate and to find the one. So Randy was awesome. He was the best therapist for me, and he gave me the tips. But the reason why I wanted to break it up into two parts is because there's pre-work here that became very instrumental to me to get in state to then give my mind the programming I wanted to give it. Okay, so this is the pre-work video. This is part one. The very first step I'm going to leave you with was I time traveled to my past relationship for context only, to look at the lessons I had learned. So I went back and reflected on that. And that's step or coaching tip number one is go back to your past relationship, if you're using this for relationships, and look at the lessons learned. If you want to create the experience like I did becoming an author, look back at all your past failures of wanting to become this person, wanting to create this identity. You've learned lessons. They're not in vain. Got to use those lessons now, today. Okay. So when I look back at the lessons learned and I look back at what I was really truly seeking or missing out in relationships, then coaching tip number two is create a very, very clear list of what I was looking for. So you could do the attributes on a list form, or you can use it in a vision board. And I use both because both techniques work for me, for my mind and how I process information. But whatever speaks to your soul, grab that and run with it. I did a vision board and I did the attributes, and I wanted someone who was affectionate. I wanted someone who was going to accept my son as his own. I wanted someone who was blonde, blue eyes. I wanted someone who was physically fit, was into wellness, who was open, an open person, someone that's closed off and one. I had already lived with that, didn't want that. So these are the attributes I had formed in my mind. And the third and final tip is to focus on the feeling. Well, this was something Randy was really clear on in our sessions. Focus on how you're going to feel when you encounter the experience of finding or meeting the one. Feelings. How are you feeling with this individual? Are you feeling affection? Is he being affectionate? Is he being caring? Is he being loving? Is he being respectful of your wishes? How is he being with you, and how are you feeling, more importantly? And here's why, guys, because we are emotional human beings. Any person that is a sales coach will coach you on this. If you're seeking sales, like to sell to clients, we are emotional buyers. We base it on a feeling. We either react or act on the feeling. So focus on the feeling. It's very, very important that you do this, because here's why. The subconscious mind stores the feeling of the encounter, because you're going to be actually visualizing this, and that will be part 2 of next week. But it stores the feeling, and it attaches itself to the feeling. When the feeling shows up, it goes ding, 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 ding. I've been there before. I know what to do, because you have programmed it. It is now working for you, the subconscious mind, not the other way around. Because right now, if you've not had coaching and you don't understand how these minds work, the likelihood is it is running your life. You have limiting beliefs in you, and they are in the driver's seat. And when certain feelings show up in your life, it gets into gear and knows exactly how to get there, because you, my friend, have programmed your subconscious mind a certain way, and it remembers it, and it has certain steps you have given it. Every time you act on those steps, it gets stronger in the programming part. I'm sylviaworsham, your host of Mindful Mondays. Thanks so much for tuning in live to this video on Manifest Your Dreams Part 1. If you like the video, can you like it? Please put like, and you see where the bell is at. If you have subscribed to my channel here on YouTube, if you haven't, please subscribe to it. I'm really trying to reach the world. I've been given a prompting from God and a command from Him to get and to reach as many people internationally as I can. I'm here to help you. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. I'm here to help you. I am a Turning Points coach, an author, and speaker. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's Manifest Your Dreams Part 1. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe. See you next week for Part 2. Bye now.